say it. All music in this video will be muted due to copyright reasons because I tried to upload the video as is and I got copyrighted from the music. So all music will now be muted. Sounds and audio that is not music will not be muted for the game. So, which is why the title feels empty. Anyway, with that out of the way, hello Terra Gamers and welcome to... Something just happened. Welcome to... My audio has apparently, gone high. So... Anyway, welcome to ATRI, or ATRI. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is... Just a moment. This is a, game that won a vote. I had a vote, on one of my Discord servers, well, friend's Discord server, really. It's called Game Day. It's where I put 10 games on a list, and, they will be voted to be played. And whichever one wins is whichever one I play. There was a winner, and I was not able to get that game due to reasons I cannot say on YouTube. So, we're here with this. I know it says continue because I tried a recording before and it copyrighted. So, all music is being muted. And I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to say except, well, never really played this game before. I've seen reviews on it. I've seen, comments from, Steam on it. And, well, it's really good, so I figured I'd play it for myself as well, because I thought I'd like it. And luckily, it got second place winner, so here we are. This looks like it'll be a story. Okay. Okay. It was a dark and stormy night. I'm kidding. The world is sinking. It's being swallowed up by the rising seas. Humanity is less than just staying alone, and the technological advances they have made are being lost. I remember a time where they seemed content to peacefully accept their extinction. It was then that I met him. He said that if he couldn't save the world, he wouldn't be saved. I asked him a question. Does the world include me? I would look over this planet, I would watch it sink, and I would watch them as they fight back against their fate, here in this infinite loneliness. Time is a cruel theft to rob us of our former selves. We lose as much to life as we do to death. This is becoming a... What story is this? This seems dark. I am surrounded by endless darkness. Not a single ray of light illuminates my path as I crawl through the gloom, praying for an exit that may not even exist. But it's hard to try. I cannot move. My leg is crushed beneath a dreadful weight, completely trapped. Searing agony radiates through my body. Please, Mom, someone, help. My hands scrabble through the dirt, reaching out for anything. They find nothing. It hurts. Somebody save me! I awaken suddenly to the sight of my hands stretched out toward the low ceiling of my room. Grasping at nothing, I let my arm drop down by my side. What the? And then I feel it. My body twists and contorts as an intense pain throbs in my right leg. What is that? After a few torturous seconds, it disappears as if it was never there in the first place. I lay limply back on the bed, trying to slow my breathing. My body is coated in a clammy layer of sweat. I must have fallen asleep. I raise my head and look down at my leg, or at least where it should be. The very same right leg that just a moment ago was pulsing with agony is non-existent as it has been for the past 8 years. And yet, it still hurts. The empty space where my flesh should be still torments me. There are no nerves there to send signals to my brain, but my mind still will not accept the truth. They call it phantom pain. It started to flare up again lately. Phantom pain isn't affected by regular painkillers. I mean, of course it isn't. It is an illusion. Pain emitting from nerves that don't even exist. A doctor would prescribe antidepressants, but their side effects could be even worse than the pain. Not that a doctor would be able to get their hands on those these days. I simply have to live in a constant dread of the next attack. This is dark right now. The gentle sunlight leaking through the potholes sounds in my eyes. It must be morning. No point lying around here, I suppose. I hear a sudden, satisfying crunch from somewhere across the room. You awake? Didn't it look like you're having a nice time in dreamland there? I look over to find a young woman chopping pieces off of an apple with a penknife. Dang, you got a resting... what word should I replace for that? You got a resting, confusing face at the best of times, but it's sure is bad when you've just woken up. You can make a kid cry if you looked at him like that. Oh, can we replace that word with angered? I don't cuss here. I don't really like to cuss. Okay. Really nice to hear that from a woman who sneaks into someone else's room and steals their breakfast. I mean, I don't like to cuss, really, but some of my friends, like Soul, do, and I can't stop them from it, which is upsetting. Lifting myself up from the sweat-streaked sheets, I sit on the edge of my bed and reach for my prosthetic leg. Naturally, a prosthetic leg is supposed to be built to fit an individual's body, but this one wasn't made specifically for me. It's an old second-hand model, not just ill-fitting, but on the verge of breaking too. It's better than nothing, though. These days, it's possible to get cybernetic legs that can be controlled by nerve signals, or even full cybernetic implants. Unfortunately, those are far, far out of my price range right now. I place my stump into the socket and tighten the straps around it. When I try moving the joint, it lets out an ominous creak. I fiddle with the screws and give it a little oil. The weather out there this morning is looking bright and clear with a mid-southwesterly breeze. I feel like my voice has like a news person would be very, very good if I was actually a news person. Don't know if I would become one. If I knew, whatever. Then that's it, I guess. The radio I switched on before I laid down is still blaring. That was a blooper. Do not clip that. I go through the motions of keeping my I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Okay, I go through the motions of keeping my weak old leg working while half listening to the drone of the announcer's voice. The rocket has been hauled, and some are representing a bold new hope for humanity, but citizens have been raising concerns that I hope they actually launch this one. They will. Well, here's hoping. If they got time to mess about launch fireworks, maybe they could actually help the people who launch with their problems too, huh? They've got the bigger picture in mind. If they don't work to assure we got a future, what's the point in fixing whatever the bullcrap? PowerShell open so I couldn't read it. Dang it, PowerShell. I have a glitch with my PowerShell keep opening and it's so annoying. There's no point in trying to get philosophical with you. I don't know. I push my foot down, getting a feel for the leg. The joint's moving a little smoothly now. Nice weather we've got today. Perfect for diving. Want to get started? At least let me have breakfast first. So I want to finish my sentence that I remember that my apple's already long gone. Hello? Another female voice calls out, this time from off my ship. Natsuki? I am not saying that! Maybe he's asleep. I wish you put a doorbell on this thing. Hey. Oh, that's it. Wait, who are you? That's my line? Well, I'm Kamishiro Minamo. I'm a friend of Natsuki's. Huh. The kid's got friends? Him. So, could I ask who you are? Me? Well, you know, I guess I'm like his wife. His wife? Don't listen to her. She's just your average apple-pinching intruder. So who actually are you? I'm his business partner. Why are you here, Minimo? I've come to take you to school, Natsuki. You haven't turned up at all ever since you first transferred here. Unfortunately, my little partner's here. He got a job to do. A job that's going to make us both very, very rich. So you just run along to school now, sweetie. Minno flinches and almost tears up at a slight glare as flashed away. If you're not doing anything else, you could help us out. An extra pair of hands would be useful. I just said that I'm going to school, though. What's the point in that? School makes you dumb. But it doesn't. It doesn't. Whatever. I thought it was supposed to make you smarter. It does! Wait. Natsuki. The ship rumbles its way away from the pier and stops a little distant from the shore. This seems like the place. What the? Deep in the translucent waters, I can see the shadow of something man-made. Oh man, I ended up coming along anyway. I should be at school. Minimo covers herself as she stares out the endless expanse of blue. Well, the ocean is beautiful. I climb down from the deck toward the other vessel. Ship is towering. I open the hatch on the large egg-like craft bobbing up and down in the waves. How did I mess up crafting? Probably because they're basically the same thing. Minimo, when I close the hatch, disengage the clamps. You know how to do that, right? Of course I don't. I'll teach you. Come over here. I'll need you to operate the crane too. If you get any questions, ask Catherine. Is this thing even seaworthy? It's got rust all over it. I'm not going to be diving too deep. A little bit of leakage isn't anything to worry about. Seriously? Wouldn't sink? Right. Here goes. I duck down inside the sub and close the hatch behind me. I take my seat at the controls and pump the choke lever until I hear the engine sputtering alive. I tap all the gauges to check if they're working and signal to Minimo out of the small window on top of the sub. I don't know if I say gauges or gadgets right. I don't know if I said it right there. I don't normally know how to say it. I mean, I know how to say it, but I just somehow always get it wrong, and everyone just yells at me. Okay, disengage the clamps. Minmo flams her arms back at me with a troubled expression. Sorry, I can't hear a word you're saying. Oh wait, that was not Natsuki. Sorry, I can't hear a word you're saying. I can't hear her through the glass, and her arm movements don't communicate anything except possibility of frightened goose. Better signal to Catherine instead. Raining like a demon plunging a sinner into the depths of hell. She disengages the lock. I feel the sub's way. That's a terrible joke. I feel the sub's way as it floats freely in the water. I wanted to avoid making that joke twice. I call out through the radio. Okay, lower the crane. Roger. I tug on the control stick and the sub's manipulator arms grasp the crane's hook. I attach it to the eyelet on top of the leg. Venting the ballast tanks. sea around the sub ripples with bubbles as the tanks empty out their air and replace it with water. The rotund little ship starts to gradually submerge as it grows heavy with ballast. I said that right? Right. I just said right 3 times in a row. Why do I always make mistakes in my speak? I don't know if I would be a good public speaker. I don't know if I would. I may not. Well, thankfully I am a public speaker because, well, you're not dumb. Right here. The color outside the window darkens from the baby blue of the sky to the deep aura of the sea. What is this? This little cube. A submarine Serpent's Albus slowly sinks. The submarine Serpent's Albus, which is what it's called, I believe, slowly sinks into the water, glistening in the morning sun. How do I always mispronounce things I've never heard of? Every single time. Every single time. I just mispronounce it. The little ship slowly and silently drifts through the sea. It sinks deeper and deeper. Before long, the rusty joints of the hull start to creak under the pressure. You're already hurting at this depth? Did I? Depth? Okay, there. This might be a problem after all. Minimum's doubt seemed to be contagious. Apparently. The Serpent's Albus is a pretty old ship. It's supposed to be capable of going a few hundred meters down, but I can't help but feel that if I tried going that deep now, I end up the size of a basketball. Thankfully, I'm not heading down anywhere that deep. It'll be a couple of dozen meters at most. $56? I mean, it's like 5 dozens, because dozen is 12. You learn something new every day, people. The light outside grows dimmer, and soon all that I can see beyond the window is dark navy. I cruise through the lonely waters toward the treasure I seek. I came to this town because I had nothing left. I lost everything. I lived here once as a child, left in the care of my grandmother. But when I returned after 8 years, the scenery was unrecognizable. The beautiful coastal town I remembered was gone. There it is. It's a town underwater? Sunken beneath the waves, buried here at the bottom of the ocean is a town just a few years ago was teeming with people. That is a variant of teeming I've never seen. Just remove the A and add another E, apparently. I don't know what that version means, but okay. The sight of the building shimmering in the sunlight, piercing the water was uncanny. Not funny. It's like the time that has stopped. The uncanny memes are just... They're too old. They're too old. Like, when are they gonna end? All memes die off eventually. And then they come back after like a few years. This town was not only one to be developed by the sea. When the waters around the world suddenly began to rise, entire cities were plunged into this limbo. No one knows why. Scientists posited that it might be climate change or some kind of movement in the Earth's crust, but no one can say for sure. All we really know is that the sea level suddenly began to rise inexorably, shoaling up more and more land. The mysterious phenomenon brought humanity to its knees, almost entirely destroying our civilization. They say we've entered the twilight of our species, and it's hard to disagree. The population had already started to drop before I was born, and by the time I became aware of the world, it was already doomed. Even though I lived through the terror of the Great Sea Rise, I don't really have any conception of the supposed times of plenty that adults talk about. I kind of want to see what the world map looks like in this. They're always droning. God, They're always droning on about the past and other bullcrap. But this is the only world I've ever known. Something inside me makes me want to blame the state of this planet on them. As I sit there, I lost my thoughts. A transmission comes through my radio. How's it going, kid? Great, I'll be arriving at the target soon. After a more forward reply comes. Nice, let's get what we need. Then I can get the heck out of this hole. Lag's a necessity annoyance, given that radio waves don't pass through water too easily. All of our communications are converted into high-frequency sound waves, which travel slower. If you want to get out of here so much, why not find some other job? You don't want to die a debt collector, do you? When I'm done with this case, I'll consider it. Just as I'm about to get back to work, another voice comes on the radio. That's Icky! What's wrong? You sound like you're about to burst into tears. Are you okay? Is the ship still right? You're not sinking, are you? It's fine. A little bit creaky. Nothing worth worrying about. Looks pretty nice on here. Should show you sometime. This kind of scenery could take someone's breath away. That's for sure. Comes back as quick as you can, okay? I'm telling you, it's fine. This thing might be old, but that means it's tough and simple too. That's not what I mean! We'll be late for school! Oh yeah. That. If my mom finds out I'm skipping school, she'd be furious. You really are a good girl, aren't you? Don't start complimenting me all of a sudden. Again, with a strangely elated tone, she ends the transmission. What the hell was that? They completely broke my concentration. My grandmother was an ocean geologist. She left me a lot in her will. Although her home was flooded, her boat and this submarine that she used for field work weren't taken by the waters. She was obsessed with her research and despised children. Before she died, she poured a significant amount of her savings into something that she locked up in her storehouse. And that's what I'm here to salvage. Well, let's get what we can. There it is. Her house. For a short time, I suppose it was mine too. And we have landed. I grasped the controls and steered the sub into the back garden. There, just as I remember it, the storehouse. It's quite big, almost out of keeping with the size of the actual house. My grandmother never let me get close to it. Perhaps she was keeping materials related to her research in there. Now, however, it's the only place I'm interested in. Getting in might be difficult, though. The storehouse heavy iron doors look to be locked tight. We're gonna have to break the doors down. When I give you the signal, wind in the winch. Roger. I reached the manipulator arm up to undo the crane's hook and attach it to the bar, holding the two doors solidly closed. Okay, pull. Was that supposed to be a cutscene? That's kind of plain for a cutscene. The cable winds back swiftly and snaps taut, but the doors won't move an inch. Huh. No dice. Just as I'm about to give the signal to stop, a clang and the sound of creaking metal echo through the water. The door collapses, sending up a billowing cloud of sediment. The resulting opening is large enough for Seppin's Albus to fit straight through. Well, that looks like that'll do. If I hadn't been able to get through these doors, I wouldn't have had to break through the roof. And that could have damaged whatever's inside. It's been 10 years. Finally time to see what's in here. I orient the sub towards the door and slowly start to push forward. The inside of the storehouse is far better condition than the outside. The walls are lined with bookshelves full of research materials and measurement oils. Yes, I know how to say that. And data collection equipment are scattered all over the floor. I don't know if I said it right. I probably did, and I hope I did. As a kid, this place would have made the perfect playground. I could picture my grandmother thinking about all the fun children to get up in here, and scowling as she locked the doors. Probably a wise decision, to be fair. I shine the sub's light across the room, searching out my target. The fact that I don't actually know what I'm looking for makes that easier said than done. However, it's supposed to be something valuable, but to my untrained eyes, all the devices in here look like they cost a pretty penny. crabs and fish skitter around the assorted detritus fleeing from the torch beams. Notice not an object as I sleep the lights around. What's that? Now they mention it, what is that? It's a large oblong box. Down here in the murky gloom, it almost looks like a sunken sarcophagus? Whatever that word is. Slowing down my engine so that my screws drives don't kick up too much sediment, I cautiously approach. It really does seem to be some kind of casket. It's perfect size for a single person. Part of the surface seems to be glass. A mannequin? No, a girl? Inside the capsule is a young girl. And as delicate and fragile looking as an antique doll. Strangely, I don't feel even an inkling of fear or discomfort. Maybe it's because this seems so unreal, or perhaps it's just how adorable she looks. Whatever the case, I have no idea what she really is. The only one thing for sure, that this has to be what I'm here for. What even is this? Looks like it has electricity, but that's all I can really tell from looking at it. Gonna have to raise the whole thing. I'm not gonna be able to manage that with just a manipulator arm. I'll have to rely on the crane. I steer the sub back from out the building and pull the wire out from the reins at the door. Dragging it along behind me, I make my way back to the casket. As I approach it, my hand slips from the control stick and the sub nudges the case. It's not a hard hit, but for a moment, a chill runs down my spine. I haven't broken it, have I? It doesn't seem like the glass is cracked. Huh? Wait, what? But the eyes of the girl in the casket have opened. Our gaze meets through the glass. She's alive? Wait, she's alive? I know my voice can't be reaching her, but she tilts her head slightly as if in response. Suddenly, like a bolt of lightning, a name pops into my mind. I heard it once in the hospital, as the grandma was beside. ATRI. Or ATRI, as some... I don't know how to pronounce it. I personally pronounce it ATRI, really. The girl watches the movement of my lips carefully. And she smiles. She really is alive. But what is she? As I sit wondering what to do next, the girl starts to move. She begins to tap away at some panels inside her capsule. The glass of the case opens. A great cloud of bubbles billows out of the casket, inundated with water. What are you doing? It seemed like she didn't realize that she was underwater. As much as she panicked, she tries to hammer the controls. There's no closing the glass now. Gotta save her. At that moment, a shadow looms over me. The sudden rush of air from the casket bluffs from the ceiling of the building. The water already damaged framework seemingly rattled by the stretch of the doors. The walls start to cave in and concrete ceiling cracks. Okay! This is gonna get serious! I instinctively push the control stick forward. The serpent Elvis moans in agony as steel beams collapse on top of it. Thankfully, I've managed to cover the girl from harm. But we're not out of the woods yet. That's a good sign. This is bad. Am I trapped? Try to pull the engine in the reverse, but the sub is pinned down under the ceiling. What the? My mind is instantly filled with intense, gruesome memories. I'm buried alive, just like before. My body is quickly coated in ice-cold sweat, and pain throbs through the spot where my legs should be. As the weight above me seems to bear down on my very soul, my eyes meet the girl's. She stares at me with a strange look, as she doesn't realize the danger that she's in. I've got to save her. Grasping the controls, I try to find the hook of the crane to affix it to the sub, but it's nowhere to be found. Did it come off in the impact? Impact? Really? Really? What is wrong with me? I tried to peer down the floor, but my manipulator arms couldn't reach down there, even if I did see it. And the sub can't even move an inch! What do I do? Panic and pain. I clicked and I couldn't read it! That's my fault! Just as I'm about to black out, I see the girl jump from the casket. She reaches down and lifts up a glimmering silver object. The hook. Please, give that to me. She tilts her head to the side and stares. She places the hook in the fingers of my manipulator. I quickly attach it to the sub's frame. Hey, can you hear me up there? What's up? One in the winch, quick. What was that? Speak up, kid. What's going on? Is something wrong, Natsuki? Wind in the winch. Now! Wait a second! If we do that... If they don't do it this instant, I'm going to end up completely crushed. Okay. What are you doing? You stupid girl. Grab the girl from the casket and the manipulator's arm. She stares impassively at me through the window, unfazed by the metal gripper around her waist. Isn't she scared? If anything, she looks particularly relaxed. Why isn't she struggling for breath by now? Thrown down from my seat in sudden acceleration as the winch pulls taut, the sub creaking painfully as the ceiling pin it down scrapes against it. Phew. Thought we were going to capsize. Jesus, girl. Ah, there he is. Huh? Sure looks like he's in a hurry. It must mean we've hit the jackpot. Yeah, right. Noel breaks the water, flings up the open the hatch, calling out and head toward the ship's floor. What are you doing, Natsuki? That's dangerous! Hey, you're gonna fall in. You can't swim with that leg, can you? If I don't hurry, the girl's gonna die. What girl? Minimo suddenly notices the body being held between the manipulator's claws. Who is that? Girl is floating face down, unmoving, her body limp. I crawl towards her and thrust out my hand. Grab hold, quickly! She doesn't move. Maybe she's unconscious. I push myself off the sub's hill, trying to make my way over to her. But as my foot drives against the rusty metal, I feel it shudder beneath me. What? Oh no. Oh no. My leg catches against the framework, my prosthetic leg, which tears away from my body. I fall into the water and sink beneath the surface. Stunned, I gaze up at the soft morning light glimmering through the azure. It's beautiful. Perhaps it's because I instantly realized the hopelessness of my plight, but I'm surprisingly calm. My clothes are heavy with water. My one leg doesn't even attempt to keep me afloat. Opening myself to the soft embrace of the cold radiant light, I let myself be taken by the depths. So this is how I die. This is going to die somewhere beautiful. I'd rather my last breath fill my lungs with water than darkness. I don't know how to respond to that message. As I gaze in wonder at the shimmering light like a million jewels enveloping my body, a shadow starts to form within them. It grows and grows, blocking all that beauty from my view. Stop it. Don't take the light away. The darkness scares me. Well, we got light. That's what we wanted. And what in the heck? What am I witnessing here? The shadow bears down on me and I feel a strange sensation against my lips. I see clearly now. That shadow is a girl. What is she doing? She's sinking with me, pushing air into my mouth from her own. That's called CPR. As I feel her gifts of oxygen fill my lungs, a terrible thought begins to float through my mind. I don't want to die. I came to this town because I had lost everything. I thought I had no reason to live anymore. And yet, I don't want to die. What a selfish, greedy creature a human can be, to want to live on without reason. But there's no way back. Sorry I dragged you into this. She hadn't tried to save me. She could have lived on. But even with her breath sustaining me, my one remaining leg can do nothing to keep us from falling into the darkness. How did you lose your leg? By the way, a plume of bubbles erupts from her mouth as she tries to say something. Not wishing to waste more air, she quickly presses her mouth back to mine and points upwards. Through the shining water comes a shape. A thin, long line connecting us to the light. A rope. A rope! I grasp hold of it and wrap my other arm around the girl. Come on! Up! I collapse onto the ship's deck, basking in the sheer joy of breathing freely once more. Oh my god, that was so scary. I thought you were gonna die, Natsuki. Thanks for the help, Minamo. No, that wasn't me. Can't let my meal ticket get away now, could I? She held out the rope with a grin. I don't have the energy to snap her like I normally would for once. I'm grateful for her debt collector instincts. So, I suppose I should ask. Who's the girl? She's sitting next to me, sucking wet, seemingly unfazed. She's still holding the sleeve of my shirt in her hand. Her grip is firm, as if she's trying to stop me from jumping into the sea again. Thank you. There's no need to thank me. I was merely carrying out my innate duty. What a strange phrasing. Where did she come from? She wasn't with you when he dived. Was she? I found her down there. She was sleeping inside my grandmother's storehouse. What? Sleeping? Yeah. I think she might be a robot. That is a common colloquial term for the category of equipment I belong to. However, it isn't precise. She's not a human. She's a robot. She's a robot! Huh? She must be like humanoid. Your grandmother was keeping a thing like this down there all the time? Humanoids. Robots intended to resemble humans as much as possible. Also marketed as androids or gynoids, depending on the manufacturer. Humanoids were produced en masse when humanity's technological process was at its peak, and their construction was so advanced that they were indistinguishable from humans. They don't need to breathe, but their vocal systems are intended to replicate the human voice box. Naturally, that means they need a pair of lungs, or at least something resembling them, to hold air. I owe my lifetime, but that particular design work. She's a robot. Wow, I couldn't tell at all. Of course not. I am an extremely high-performance model. I thought we were really struck the jackpot. This thing will sell for a pretty penny. What? You're gonna sell her? Of course. Selling is the reason we salvaged it. Humanoids are pretty thin on the ground these days. If we sell it, he'll be able to pay off Professor Yachigusa's debts. Then some. But, isn't that kind of cruel? It's like, somehow, I don't think she'd have the same kind of reaction if she was looking at any other piece of indestructible machinery. But to the untrained eye, this girl looks just like a human being. Yes, that is not possible. See? She thinks so too. I am the private property of my master. It is against the law to sell me without permission. Your master? Ah, Professor Yachigusa. Your master died a month ago. Oh? This town sunk into the rising seas 3 years ago. You've been asleep down there for all that time. Oh, so my master is dead. I see. R.I.P. She doesn't seem very upset. Well, it's a robot. Saying that, even at this level of emotion, marks it out as a pretty expressive model. Don't you worry, though. Your new master's right here. This kid will get power shell. I need to click somewhere that's not dialogue. Like that can work. As long as I click it, though. The robot girl turns to me and peers closely in my face. I see. So you're... yeah, I suppose I'm your master now. For some reason, I feel like that was the case from the very first time I saw you under the water. I should have known. She speaks with a strange air of conviction. She tugs on my sleeve again. She looks like a kid who just found her dad. One significantly advanced robot without a master experiences the same features as a lost child would. What should I call you? I will adjust my speech articles accordingly. How about options including master, sir, big bro, daddy? Just call me Natsuki. Why did you even say that to begin with? Why did you say that to begin with? That last word, no. I abruptly cut her off before she says something I really don't want to have in my head. Aiko Ruga Natsuki. That's my name. Natsuki. And what do I call you? Would you like to confirm my serial number? Changes behind her head to lift up her hair. Her serial number must be on the back of her neck. No, I'm asking if you have a name. I wouldn't be surprised if that old bag never gave her one. My name is ATRI. My master gave me it. ATRI. That's a nice name. The words slip out of my mouth without thinking. I know, right? Being given a human name is proof of being recognized as a living being. It's a marker of status. We're about to think of names in that way. I never considered that before. Ah, Natsuki's a pretty nice name too, I suppose. Are you patronizing me? Error, I do not understand the word patronizing. Oh my god. She looks at me with a blank expression. It's probably my imagination, but there seems to be a glint of mischief in her young eyes. Young, delicate eyes. Then again, maybe it's just a reflection of the midday sun. I think back to the lights I saw on the water. After staring at me for a while, Atiri suddenly smiles. It's a smile so soft and gentle that I suddenly wish to capture the moment never for eternity. Take good care of me, Natsuki. ATRI, my dearest moments. Okay. I feel like, this is where we should stop. Hold on. Back. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. Back to title. Yes. Okay. So that is where we're gonna stop for this episode. I don't know if there's going to be a second episode, as once again, this was a game vote for a episode and recording. After it's published, I will check if there is any copyright, and if there is not, then it will be free to be public to everybody. The old video will be deleted. In any case, that's going to be it for this episode. And also, happy April Fools! I didn't mention that at the start of the video, and I should have. This was supposed to be the April Fool's video, because it's a game because it's like that type of game I don't really show on the channel. I mean, I've showed You and Me and Her on the channel before, but besides that, then yeah, I don't really show these type of games. You could say I'm variety. But anyway, happy April Fools, and I will see y'all in the next video. If I could give you